Mars is one of the famous planets in the whole universe. It has atmosphere, polar caps, valleys, rocks and much more, just like our home planet. In future, Mars is hope for our exoplanetary life. But how? How can we get there? And how will we colonize Mars?
On this dry, desiccated world, the average surface temperature is -55 degrees Celsius. And at the poles, temperatures can reach as low as -153 degrees Celsius. Much of that has to do with its thin atmosphere, which is too thin to retain heat, not to mention breathe. So why then is the idea of colonizing Mars so intriguing to us? Well, there are a number of reasons, which include the similarities between our two planets, the availability of water, the prospects for generating food, oxygen, and building materials on site. And there are even long-term benefits to using Mars as a source of raw materials and terraforming it into a livable environment. Now, first thing first, we have to get there. Within the next decade, NASA will finally have a spacecraft capable of making the journey to Mars. The massive new 2,500-ton SLS, combined with the Orion capsule, will enable astronauts to explore beyond the safety of low Earth orbit for the first time since the end of the Apollo moon program in 1972. Although any long-duration mission is also likely to employ a habitation module, giving the crew a bit more room to move around in, the 9-month trip to Mars is going to be uncomfortable and boring. It could also be extremely dangerous. After keeping the first step on Mars, the initial challenge is to become self-sufficient. On Mars you need air, water, food and power to survive. In the short term you could rely on supplies brought from Earth or sent on supply missions, but eventually you are going to have to produce your own. We can carry an electrolysis experiment to extract oxygen from carbon dioxide in the Martian atmosphere. Now we need to make interplanetary government. Since it's a bit complicated, we will talk about this in other episode. The first Mars settlers will be living in the capsules they arrive in, perhaps augmented by a few extra capsules sent ahead and maybe some inflatable domes. But just as settlers will be utilizing local resources for water, food and energy, they will also hope to use local materials to build a larger colony or even spin-off colonies. At the very least, it would make sense to use Martian rock to bury the habitats to help shield occupants from radiation. Later, the surface could be drilled to form caves or rock could be excavated for building materials, just as we build houses from stone on Earth. It might also be possible to extract useful minerals for metals or glass. Assuming their sperm or eggs have not been zapped by cosmic radiation on the way to Mars, then sooner or later a certain percentage of settlers are going to want to have kids. It is, after all, the only way of perpetuating the colony over generations. For it to be successful, the population needs to be large enough to avoid inbreeding over subsequent generations. While it's pretty cool to imagine, it's as hard to convert into reality.
That's it for now. I hope you learned something new today. To join this journey, explore the subscribe button and hit it. Let's explore all at one spot. Thank you.